So 6 years ago, Tesla rolled a bit of a surprise off the back of a truck, and it was the Roadster 2.0, a two-door electric sports car, or I should say supercar, with absurd specs, world record acceleration, just filthy numbers. This would be the flagship smackdown to all gas cars, as it was promised. But since then, they've had a little bit of a reshuffling of their priorities, you could say. They've got a whole Cybertruck they're trying to make now, other stuff they're going to mass produce. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Roadster is indefinitely delayed, which is a bit of a bummer. So I guess the Smackdown's going to have to wait. Actually, wait, hold on. Hold that thought. So this is the Rimac Nevera, and it is absolutely the smackdown of gasoline cars that we knew was eventually coming. You've been able to buy $1 million, $2 million, $3 million gas supercars for years now, but electric cars are of course newer and they're exploding onto the scene. So now we get to see what an all-out, technologically advanced, maximum performance, all-electric hypercar actually looks like and feels like. Rimac has made one car before, the Rimac Concept 1. I was actually lucky enough to test that car too, that tiny little thing. They only made 8 copies of that. Then they started working on the Rimac Concept 2 as they got acquired by Volkswagen Group and merged with Bugatti. So that Concept 2 became this Nevera, which they'll only make 150 of and will cost $2.4 million. So to be fair, this is in a completely different stratosphere than the promised Tesla Roadster, but the idea for all of them is the same. Just make the fastest car possible. And so of course it's electric. You know those like scale of the universe videos on YouTube where the numbers you see the scale of things get bigger and bigger until the numbers just don't even make sense anymore and they're not comprehensible by the human brain? That's this car. 0 to 60 miles an hour, 1.74 seconds. World record. 0 to 100 miles an hour in 3.2 seconds. World record. Quarter mile, 8.3 seconds. World record. 0 to 200 miles an hour in 10 seconds. World record. 0 to 250 to 0 in under 30 seconds. World record. There's 23 world records on this list, and one of them is the record for most records broken in a day. These numbers don't really make any sense, so I need to feel this for myself. So, track mode, the wing pops up, everything turns red, 100% front power, 100% rear power, foot on the brake, foot on the gas, 3, 2, oh, oh my God. Oh, wow, I've never felt that in my face. I think we can do even better. I think we can do it even better. So let's do that quarter mile straight line one more time. But this time, next to me is going to be a very, very fast car. The Porsche 911 Turbo S. That car does 0 to 60 in under 2.5 seconds. I'm gonna give that 640 horsepower all-wheel drive Porsche a 2-second head start in a 400-yard race. Now let's see what this Rimac does to that very fast Porsche. 0, 1, 2. Oh, man. That's crazy. Nothing is supposed to walk a car like that. I mean, this car is fast, but there you have it. This is a street legal electric car after all, though, so around normal roads, how does it drive? So I'm driving in range mode right now, which by default is 100% front axle power, 30% rear axle, and the softest suspension and the least aggressive acceleration. The brakes are still really strong, but honestly, this is a very compliant car. That's one of these things that I think is inherently going to be better about all of these electric supercars, is they can be really, really soft and friendly despite having 2,000 horsepower available the second you want it. As I'm looking at the top, I have almost 100% battery and about 100 miles of range estimated. So I'm assuming it's going to tell me that my range is low based on how I've driven in the past, and this car has not been babied, so I guess that shouldn't shock me. But we are working with 120 kilowatt hour battery, so a pretty big battery, the quad motors, and it will estimate, at least they say, about 300 miles of range on a full charge, which is pretty good. It has that CCS port right behind my head, and it'll charge from 0 to 80% on a fast charger in 20 minutes. And then this is also there's a funny combination of parts. I talk a little bit in the autofocus video about this car, about how they got bought by the Volkswagen Group. They got a bunch of money into this company, and they're merged with Bugatti now. So it's Bugatti Rimacs. And there's a lot to this car that actually reminds me of Bugatti, where they clearly could have been lighter, but they didn't. They went with high quality stuff everywhere. Basically everything in this car is either carbon fiber or metal, and it is rock solid. There's not a ton of dampening or like noise isolation or foam or anything like that. Like, I can hear the rocks like going through the wheel well. It feels like a relatively heavy but still compact sports car. I kind of like it. Also, one more thing I've noticed, so the dashboard of this car, the primary thing in the middle is the speed, and it actually changes the color based on the mode you're in. We'll get to the modes. But also, my estimated range has been going up as I've been driving, so it knows I've been going slower. Kudos. But also, it shows my total power output and regen in a live counter on the side. When I hit the brake pedal, the regen number actually goes up. So that means they're adding regen before blending in the friction brakes. So it feels and drives like a normal car. It coasts mostly when I let off the accelerator, but it behaves a lot like Porsche's Taycan and that same 800 volt system, which means hitting the brakes starts with regen, then adds friction brakes. It's clever. Even the infotainment is kind of interesting. It is a big touchscreen in the middle of the car, interestingly with some storage behind it that you can just pull back to reveal. But there's a bunch of features. There's a 360 camera, there's a map. There's also a button on the steering wheel that has a little picture of like a voice control. When I press it, it says this car is going to get voice commands and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with a software update. If it actually does get all those things, and it's wireless, that would make this one of the best car infotainment systems of any hypercar I've ever seen. But as of right now, it doesn't have that, but you can still connect your phone and play Bluetooth music on the Focal speakers, which are all over the cabin. So I really think that in this transition, or in this upcoming boost of all these electric cars, one of the most impressive things about them is the Jekyll and Hyde factor. The fact that these cars can have multiple personalities. Obviously, it's super cool and super aggressive and snarling to have a gas car that has a ton of power and sounds amazing all the time. I'm surrounded by those cars right now, you can't even see. But a really impressive electric car can be both really fast and performant, and really soft and docile and smooth. And I think this is one of those examples where just driving it around like normal feels really soft and smooth. And if it goes into sport mode, or cruise mode, or track mode, well, it sort of puts a mask on. So I had to look it up to remember which is which, but the Dr. Jekyll guy, the nice guy, is just driving in range mode or cruise mode. All the gauges are blue and green, and there's a smooth, soft throttle response, soft suspension, lighter steering. And the rear wing is all the way down at its lowest setting, just to glide through the air with maximum efficiency and minimal drag. It's almost shockingly calm. You'd never know about all the horsepower underneath your foot. But with the soft steering and the regen braking, it feels and drives, I'm not even joking, just like a super low Tesla Model 3 with incredible brakes. But the Mr. Hyde is the evil one. And in this very same car, just by turning the knobs and going into sport mode or track mode and dialing up the power and everything turning yellow and red, you tighten up the steering, you stiffen the suspension, the throttle response from the pedal becomes much more linear with your foot. Like, it's incredibly reactive, just touching the pedal. And the huge carbon fiber wing extends up and out into the air, completely nuking your rear visibility to create more downforce to keep you planted to the road, along with an active rear splitter down underneath to redirect air. Plus, if you're fast enough and hit the brakes hard enough, the wing will flip up and become an air brake to help you slow down even faster. This whole car basically tightens up even more than it already was around you and becomes a weapon of speed and precision. I've never felt a car where you have such direct and immediate control over exactly how fast you're going at any moment. More than the Plaid Model S, more than any gas car I've ever tried. The lag is just non-existent. It's pretty incredible. So anyway, I guess the point is, this is still that moment that we were waiting for electric cars, even if it didn't come from Tesla. All those records that I was talking to you about before, those weren't electric car records, those were production car world records. Everything this does in a straight line is faster than the Bugatti Chiron. Now, I feel like the number one comment I can already see below this video is, oh, but I'd rather take the Chiron, I'd rather take any of the gas cars any day because of the noise and the soul and the fun of it, and I get that, to an extent. Obviously, a $2 million exotic hypercar should have fun. It's way more about fun than practicality, so I understand that. But the point is, the future of cars is now proven to be electrified in some way. The newest Corvette flagship is electrified. The newest Lamborghini flagship is electrified. The newest Ferrari flagship is electrified. The newest Bugatti coming up will be electrified. The new McLaren flagship to replace the P1 will be electrified. And that's what we've learned. So in the meantime, it was exciting getting to drive this 1 of 150 super rare expensive car. Shout out to the Triple F collection for letting me come out here and actually beat on this car and really drive it. It was incredible. Check out their channel for more races with this car and other exotic cars. Also, go check out the studio channel if you want to see a whole bunch of people at the studio not only help shoot this video, but also experience the ridiculous acceleration. Also, the autofocus channel for all the other car stuff. I think that's it. Okay. Speed is ruined for me forever. Thanks for watching. Peace.